What's up, good people? I hope you're doing well today. I'm doing all right. I'm having a better afternoon than I did morning. Been feeling some other energy today. I know that it's not mine. Nothing's happened to me to bring that energy on. So it's part of being an empath. Shout out to my other empaths out there. I know you know what I'm talking about. A lot of times it takes a lot of practice to realize what is yours and what is not yours, and what you need to deal with and work through, and what you need to transmute. So do some research on that. Look that up on how you can recognize your energy, separate it from other people's energy so that you don't absorb things unnecessarily. Energy transfers are very real. So be careful who you're around. Be careful what you're picking up on. Don't keep anything that's not yours. Turn it into something else or let it go. So I did get out into nature for a little while to ground, and I'm still transmuting, balancing everything back out. Still probably gonna dance some and definitely take a shower or a bath, and you can speak intentions into that water. I've got some art I want to do, so I love to be creative. It's a wonderful outlet to have. But yeah, definitely, if you feel that way, if you know that it's yours, work on it. Journal, meditate, pray, do things to identify what it is so that you can deal with that wound or that issue that you might be having. Could be person, place, thing, whatever it may be. Get out into nature, cleanse with some sage, some Palo Santo. Use your crystals, use your stones. These are things that I do. You don't have to do them. You can call me crazy for doing it. I don't really care. It works for me, and that's all that matters. So I'm suggesting it to you guys. Use it or leave it right here where you heard it, and never think about it again if you want. I don't care, but it is my suggestion to you. But move your body. Get up and move your body, like I was telling you, especially when you don't feel like it. That's when you need to do it the most. And I'm not going to tell you guys to do something that I'm not going to do. So if I'm having a down day or low energy, I'm going to transmute anything that's negative. I'm going to get my vibrations up. I'm going to cleanse. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to start working it out. Do not sit in it. Do not sit in it. It will continue to drag you down, and you need forward movement every single day, no matter what, okay? So that's coming from the highest love that I have for all of you guys. I want the best for everyone, even people that don't like me, even negative vibrating energies that don't like me. I still want the best for you. That is great advice. So you would be in a lot better place if you would take it, and you would see that I'm not just talking out my butt here. I really know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time, especially being involved with narcissists. So that's how I learned a lot of this. That's how I put names to it, because I got tired of dealing with it, and I got tired of being depleted. So I started doing my research, and I want you guys to do research. You're doing research with this video right now. So do further research. There's other great people that talk about it, especially people that are recovering narcissists. Take advice from them. They know what they did, especially if they're being aware about it now and they're starting to work on themselves. They're definitely handing out free game left and right about how they used to treat people and what they were thinking when they did it and what their end goal was. Boy, I'm glad that we've got some of them out there, because it is so important to hear from people that aren't in denial anymore and that actually have the self-awareness to talk about it and try to work on it and be a better person going forward. It is never too late. It's never too late to work on those things. I am so appreciative for some of the emails that I've gotten after I threw that out there to check out the description box, and you can email me. You can ask me any questions that you want. I am going to throw up a boundary to not even ask to meet up with me, because that's not something that I'm into. Very much doing this virtually. We can talk. I can share tips. I can listen. I can be encouraging, a motivator. I can pray for you. All of that stuff. It wouldn't cost you a thing. I'm not doing this for money, but I will not meet up with anybody. So please don't ask that, okay? I just being in this energy today also reminds me of something that I've been praying for. I want everyone to be the light, but the name of the channel is also Be the Light Intuition. So I want you guys to be the light, and I want you to listen to your intuition. I have been exposed to energy that has not been for my higher good for a long time now, and I've been praying for a sign for God to tell me when it's okay to release that, because I don't feel like I can fully step into my purpose hanging on to something with negative energy, or throwing myself back into something that I have fully identified as negative and not good for me. I have received a sign from God. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. So I just want to tell you guys how stubborn I can be, even still this far down my path and stepping fully into my purpose. I've prayed for a sign for weeks now, and I have received that sign 4 times, probably at least 3, maybe 4 times, and I still am like, are you sure, God? Are you sure? Oh, it's gonna make me so uncomfortable, but it's something that I've prayed for. I received my answer. My intuition is screaming at me. I feel it in my gut. That's where your intuition is. You're going to feel it. Sometimes people feel it differently. That's how I feel mine. Mine reacts in my gut. It just screams at me. It's full stop. Guys, I can't ignore it at all. You can push through it. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. But when it's speaking to you, you're going to know, especially if you've prayed for that sign, if you are in tune with your intuition, you've stopped looking outside of yourself for these things. And I've been following my intuition for at least a couple of years now. So when you start doing that, you can't ignore it. You're not going to be able to ignore it anymore. It's impossible. And so you guys just pray for me as I take this leap, because you need to listen to it. I know once you start following your intuition, you're going to be able to identify lots of times in the past where you know that you knew what you should do by what your body was telling you, or what signs you received after you prayed about something over and over and over. If you still don't listen to it and you keep going and use your free will and intentionally ignore the signs, your intuition, whatever, you'll know. You'll be able to think back about the time that you made the wrong decision, and that you knew better than to do something like that, but you didn't listen to it, which is part of what leads us on the path to listening to our intuition, because you have that confirmation from before that you knew what you should have done and you didn't do it. So you have to take that leap. You have to surrender. You have to trust God and your intuition, your higher self, your power source, your divine intervention. Part of that is your intuition. So listen to it, please. Follow it. Follow it. I didn't want to force God's hand by being impatient. And I used to be a very impatient person. And this has been a long, hard, gut-wrenching process to go through. As much as I would like to be over in 2 more seconds, it's done. I know that the battle's already won, but everything has to be right. God's plan, everything has to align. He's not going to rush it. He wants everything to be right. He wants you to be able to receive your blessings and know what to do with it, to be able to keep it. He wants everything to be perfect for you. So that a lot of times takes a lot of time in order for it to be laid out correctly, for everything to be just how it should be before he gives you that blessing and that breakthrough. So I don't want to rush it. I don't want to have baked cake. I want everything to be right. So I didn't want to, force his hand. I didn't want it to not be ready. So that's why I prayed. And even though he's given me the sign probably 4 times now, I'm still like, am I being impatient? Are you really telling me to do this? But I know what to do. I know what to do, and I've just got to do it. So more to come on that. Anyway, pray about everything, okay? And trust God. He's not going to lead you down the wrong road. He's going to open the doors. He's going to give you everything that you need. I know I've said that a million times, but it's so hard to just let go and let God. But please do it. You will not regret it. It'll still be uncomfortable sometimes, but do it, and you'll see. You shouldn't have waited. You shouldn't have doubted. That's just the devil. That's the devil trying to keep you from stepping fully into your purpose. So God doesn't give us fear. Don't be afraid, okay? Anyway, you guys really like the narcissistic video. You really like the gaslighting video, the document everything video. So here we go. We're going to talk about the empath narcissist dynamic, because it is a big part of it. I want you to recognize the things that happen so that you can identify the traits of being in a relationship like that, but also the dynamic that keeps the cycle going. A lot of times empaths will seek the narcissist. Other way around. The narcissists will seek the empaths. There, I said it right. They will tune in to how much you care and how much you love and fully take advantage of that. And in turn, the empaths do not want to give up on the narcissist. They want to see the best in everybody. They know how much love that they can give and how genuine and authentic and pure it is. So they keep thinking, if I just keep giving more and giving more, that it'll eventually change them, and they'll realize that they want this for life and that there's nothing better out there. The grass is not greener. I am a gift to them. They will never find anything like this in anybody else. They'll come around, right? And I have faith that they will eventually do the right thing. So I just don't want to give up. I've poured my heart and my soul and all of my energy into this, and I don't want to throw in the towel, because what if it's too soon? What if it's too soon and I have regrets? And that's the power struggle. That's the dynamic. They want to have power over you. They want to suck you dry and be that energy vampire. And you, as the empath, you don't want to give up. You think that love will conquer all. You just need to give a little bit more, and that just keeps it going. That's just circular. They know what to do to love bomb you and pull you back in, and you know that you didn't really want to give up on it, so there you go, walking right back down that road. But it didn't change. They're not going to change, because as long as they have you as the energy source, you being their virtual power plant for everything that they need to fuel their narcissistic ego, then they're not going to change. There's no reason to change. That's why you have to go no contact, because as long as they have that, they are not going to change. They have what they need, so why should they have to change? There's no reason to. They're getting exactly what they want. It's feeding everything that they are about, everything that they stand for, everything that they set out to gain. So why in the world would they want to change that? That's jackpot, right? That's the pot of gold at the end of their narcissistic rainbow, their illusions, their grandeur. It's being fed constantly. They're being able to eat at your table all the time, so they're not going to want to change for any reason. And I hope I don't have much space on my phone, because I've documented so many things to death, and even though I've backed them up, I still am like, I don't want to erase it. So my time runs out sometimes, like on the last narcissist video, because I have to erase my videos in order to record new videos. So after they're uploaded, I will make some space, and then I can do a new one. So anyway, I hope this doesn't happen. I'm going to try to talk faster if I do start to run out. So that doesn't mean that it just means I'm out of space, guys. It doesn't mean I'm trying to rush, or I'm trying to that there's anything wrong with me. It just means I'm running out of space, and I can see the timer at the top of my screen, and it tells me, hurry up. So I want to get the message out and not be cut off like I did last time, because I really want to tell you I love you at the end of my videos. It's important to me. So, yeah, empaths feel everything very deeply. Narcissists know this. You have to know what's yours and what's not yours in the relationship so that you don't absorb their negative energy, because they will project a lot of that onto you. Things that they're doing, lying, cheating, whatever it may be, they will project that right back onto you to keep you feeling guilty and blamed. Narcissists want you to think you're the narcissist. They deny and reject any kind of acceptance of responsibility. They do not own their shit whatsoever. No matter how many times that you tell them to do, they will give you that dead stare like the deer in headlights, and keep going about their day and about their business. They're not going to change it. They'll feel very called out by it, but they're still going to project it right back onto you. They want everyone to think that you're the narcissist. They want you to think that you're the narcissist. It's a continuous blame for the things that they do and projecting it right back onto you so that they don't have to change a thing. What else? I've already said all this in my rambling. I don't really need to make notes anymore, but I still do because I don't want to get completely off track. They will put you in competition with them and other people. That's very important. My ex used to, and he still is, he's still trying to put us in competition in the whole court battle by saying, well, he's this great person and I'm a horrible mom and I'm unstable. He doesn't have any proof of that. He's called me a wonderful mother many, many times, but yet in court he wants to hide behind the lawyer and all of these claims that I'm mentally unstable to make me look bad, even though he knows that's not true. He knows that's not true, or I wouldn't have had my son 80% of the time before any of this started, because he knew he was great in my care. He knew there was nothing to worry about, and then that in turn enabled him, like much when we were married, to go out and drink nonstop and be a womanizer and fully go out and play and do whatever he wants. So if he didn't have his mother and sister right now picking up a lot of the pieces, then he wouldn't be able to do it by himself. I know that for a fact because I used to do it all, and I still would be if this hadn't happened. So they want to put you in competition with other people, hence the cheating. They want you to think that you're not good enough and that you need to step it up and that someone can replace you at any moment. But that's not true, because you need to love yourself. You need to completely step back into your power, take your power back. And you know, when you do that, that the love that you gave to them needs to go to yourself. You need to build yourself back up. And in that mode, in the Empress energy, okay, you only need to compete with who you were yesterday. You just need to try and be a better person than who you were the day before. So you can match energy, but you can't duplicate it. So it's much like DNA, and you can't compete where you don't compare. So if you haven't done the work and you haven't stepped up into that I love myself fiercely energy, and I'm not going to come down from my throne, and I said what I said, I'm not going to argue with you, I'm just going to be better than who I was yesterday and keep being better and better and better, and no ceilings, you can't compete with that unless you have put in the same amount of work to better yourself, just like that other person is doing. So compete as you could try to compete as much as you want, but if you can't compare with that energy, you can't match that energy, you're damn sure not going to be able to duplicate it. So you cannot compete where you don't compare, period. You have to put in the work. It is hard, and a lot of people don't want to do it. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. I've said that a million times. It's so true. But a lot of people look at it, examine it, and say, no, I want to take this other road because it's much easier, and I have gotten away with a bunch of things in the past that have been gratifying, so I'm just going to keep on doing it. I don't need that person. They're not shit anyway, so I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing. And if that's your free will, you choose that, you're not going to be able to compete. at all, period. You're not vibing high. You haven't done the work. There's no competition there whatsoever. Even if they try to replace you, they're going to look, you're going to get the last laugh, because when you finally have had enough and you walk away and you go no contact, they are going to look for you in everybody else, and they're going to try to duplicate that in other people so that they will keep feeling the same that they did when they were with you. It's not going to be there. They're never going to find that in anybody else again, not even you, because you loved the person that you thought they were when they were wearing that mask. You loved that person who wasn't even a real person to begin with. It was fake. It was so fake. So not only can they not duplicate you because you've done so much work on yourself that no one else can compare, they're not going to be able to find that kind of love anywhere else because it doesn't exist anymore. Your love was based on something that was false, somebody that you thought you could change, and you could literally love yourself to death trying to get them to be a better person, and they wouldn't. So even if you wanted to love them again, even if you wanted to get back in that cycle, which do not, even if you did, you wouldn't be able to love them the same because you've seen who they really are now. So that love, you won't ever be able to love them the same again because they've hurt you so much. You know who they are now. So you know not to keep putting that same amount of energy and filling their cup over and over and over without them ever reciprocating and being able to put it back into you, because they don't know how to do that genuinely. It's all love bombing. It's all fake. It's all false. It's all fabricated, right? So they don't know how to fill your cup back up and do that if they've not put in the work and identified where they needed to own up to what they did and take responsibility. It's impossible. It's fantasy. Like I was saying before about them in the other video, it's fantasy to think that they could compete or anyone else could compare, or even you could love them the same that you loved them to begin with, because it was all a facade. So you'd be better off just cutting your losses, loving yourself, turning to God for the strength to keep doing it every single day until you do not feel the pull and you don't fall for the love bombing or the manipulation anymore, and you never look back. Okay, that is the ultimate goal here. So the ways that they will deplete you: hiding money. I remember when my ex had gotten, I'm pretty sure he was let go from working at a car, an automotive distributor. He had a 401k, and only half of that ended up making it into the bank account. His mother would give him money behind my back all the time, even though she said her ex-husband's mother did that to him, and she very much resented that. But yet she perpetuated that cycle, even though she knew it was wrong, and she gave him money behind my back to use for himself. It was a bribe, because she hated that he was married to me to begin with, because that took away from her having him in her life as much as he was. So yeah, they will hide money. They will intentionally use it just for themselves because they believe that they deserve it more than anybody else. Cheating constantly, feeding their ego with that, being a player, being a womanizer, also having other children here and there that they don't take care of because they never want anyone on the outside to see what they did behind closed doors. So most of the time, if they do have children, other than in their primary relationship, they will not own up to having those children, because then other people will see that they cheated and that they had a baby on somebody, and that they don't take care of that child, or call them their child in public. That would make them look bad. So they will avoid responsibility, doing things like that. The flying monkeys we talked about. I can't tell you how many times someone I don't even know has tried to attack me personally or my character, or do something that would affect my kids instead. Like, I remember when I went through my divorce, someone was talking about me being crazy at my son's job, which was a grocery store. And so, in turn, it was a diss to him. Someone was trying to talk about his mom, which in turn was talking about him, and it made him feel bad. And just all kinds of flying monkey things. They will come out from the woodworks trying to defend someone that is a narcissist who has played the pity party. Oh my gosh, look at her. She's the narcissist. She's the one that cheated. She's the one that lied. All because they got called out and they don't want to be held responsible. They have to keep up this, the impression for other people that they were the victim. So, yeah. Flying monkeys. I can't tell you enough how to be prepared for the flying monkeys when you end these cycles. Let's see. I've already said all that. Yeah, empaths do not like hurting others, but I want you to defend yourself. I don't want you to go after people. I don't want you to act like they're doing. Don't match that energy. Don't be low vibrational and play that game and roll around in the mud with them. But do document everything. I have been accused of losing my job I don't know how many times, and in turn I did an employment verification the other day that confirmed my intuition about how they have been terminated from their job recently and they are not rehirable. So don't put things out there about other people. If that person is vibrating high and they're not doing anything wrong, it will come back to you. And if you're not doing the work to be a good person on your own, then obviously you're going to have consequences like job loss in your life. And I don't want anything bad to happen to other people. But this is what happens when you're just reckless with life, reckless with other people's lives. It's going to come back to you. The psych evaluation. They want to interview the guy that did my psych evaluation in court. If I had to pay for it on my own, I would have had to have hired a PhD level or higher, a doctor, right? The person that they could hire if I got it for free did not have to be a PhD, and he's not. But the report that he gave stated that I didn't, they're saying inconclusive, and he's said inconclusive, but I have a high IQ and I didn't show any signs of mental illness, but he's riding the fence. So they still want to drag him back in to follow this narrative that I am unstable and I don't need to have my child. So they still want to bring him back in to try and coerce him to say something that will fit their narrative, even though he's already said what he has to say. But I recorded the whole thing. So even though I don't want to make this guy look bad, he didn't treat me badly during the psych evaluation as far as being mean to me, and I feel like he put a lot of things that were truthful in the report. I do have documented how unprofessional it was, how he flirted with me several times, how he made his own patients that were scheduled after me wait, and he said sucks to be them. He had no empathy for them. Kept mentioning my hair color and how I was his type, and the curls around my face were just and things like that. He told me that he saw everything that he needed to see. We prayed together. He indicated that he didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary, and he wasn't going to put anything in there. So if you have to use things like that to defend yourself, absolutely do it. If they are stalking you, okay, call the police. Get restraining orders. Document all of that for abuse. Create a file. Create a trail. Stand up for yourself. I've mentioned I called the police on my ex twice within 24 hours, and once they were not prepared for it. Second time that they were, and his brother-in-law's buddies showed up and tried to make it look like, well, he was so innocent. And I'm like, he's not doing it now when you're here in front of you. The first time, they weren't prepared, so he just took off. But guess who showed up? His mom, trying to be at the end of the driveway, telling the cop not to listen to me. And they said, ma'am, do you live here? She said no, and they sent her on their way. So they had to come up with a better strategy to make me look like I wasn't credible in my claims of him abusing me. And then even in court, I have pictures of where he punched holes in the walls. I have texts where he has admitted to putting his hands on me and apologizing for it. I have texts where he admitted to sexually assaulting me and apologizing for it, and then telling me that if I said anything to the police about it, that he would take me to court for custody, just like he's doing now. Presented all of that in front of the judge, and he did not care one bit. Not a bit, even though it completely proved my case as far as him being a threat to me, and he still dropped the restraining order. And even though my son had confessed abuse to higher authorities, several of them, in fact, the police department and CPS, even though I hate being without my son right now, I'm just fine. Where I thought I would just die if that ever happened, I'm just fine. Okay, I've made it through that, but the silver lining about them keeping everything with me and him supervised is that when he goes back to court, whoever he tells, because he will speak his truth again. I know him well enough. He's not just going to say, "Oh, it never happened." When he says it again, there'll be no way that they can say that I coached him, because we haven't been unsupervised for 8 months now. So how are you going to say that I coached him after that long if you've listened to everything that we've said and I haven't said it to him, and then he says it again? So almost out of time, so I'm going to speed up. Narcissists will implode when you call them out and you catch them on their behavior, or their energy supplies stop. They're depleted, right? They don't have as many flying monkeys anymore. They've been called out. They've been found out. They will inevitably lose friends when their mask falls off and they can't find a new supply, so they will want to be alone. And will they have remorse and work on it? Or will they decide that they don't want to work that hard, regroup, and go all in all over again? And my experience, they'll go all in all over again. So I love you guys. God loves you. You're never alone. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.